Alright, peace and blessings, family. Love and light is your brother. I'm the Amanashi, also known as I'm the Omnis. Salute to the kings, to the queens of the planet Earth, all right? Now, today I wanted to do a quick little build about the topic of P. Diddy since everybody talking about it. Now, everybody knows about the BlackRock situation. P. Diddy sued the liquor company. He won a big lawsuit, right? And there was some type of racial, racial discrimination going on, all right? P. Diddy didn't want to be marginalized by the liquor company as an urban brand, and as a black man with a black-owned business that's trying to expand his brand and whatnot. But let me go ahead and let y'all know, no, I do not support domestic abuse, domestic violence in any way. In my personal life, I didn't live my life that way, right? So I can speak towards that because, that's not even my personal situation. I didn't even live like that. But I'm just saying, with the P. Diddy case, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's given pimp, prostitute vibes, right? He's spending money on this woman. He feel like, and it was in a relationship for a while too. You feel me? But yeah, the woman done got 30 million, 50 million in the settlement. And ain't too many prostitutes that I know that's making 40, 50 million dollars off it. Boom. They ain't making no 40, 50 million dollars. They can't even deal with that many men that accumulate that. All right? And so, like I said, in no way do I support hurting women. P. Diddy, if she wanted to go and do her own thing, he should have just let her go and never dealt with her again. Never spent another dime on her again. Right? But this woman is by no means innocent. All right? She's not. People are grown, and people got the right to do whatever they want to do. My thing with the P. Diddy, I don't support some of the stuff that he's doing, but I support the Black Conscious Movement, the Revolt TV, him dealing with Killer Mike, and making political statements about the black community and putting his money behind the black community in certain ways. And so that there is positive with brother P. Diddy. Like I said, he's not 100% perfect, and neither is no one. You feel me? But I'm just not feeling them trying to come up out of nowhere after all this time saying that this man done this, he done did this. He doing this, he doing that, right? Why they ain't filed the charges when the alleged crime was committed? Why all these brothers just out of nowhere? They done arrested Chris Brown out of nowhere, family. From the incident with him and Rihanna. This is years ago. It just seemed like since President Trump has come into office, it's just been a campaign of railroad all the black male celebrities. All right? And that's what I've been seeing, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Like, we know they had the Epstein Island. So why T-Man, right? And if anybody know about the Greek culture, the island of Lesbos is in Greece. This is where the name lesbian comes from. Homosexuality comes from Europeans. When you look at their culture in Rome and Greece, you see boys with grown men, right? Some of the stuff they was trying to allege P. Diddy was doing. You see man with another man on a statue in their culture, where they're from. You go to Africa, you go to certain indigenous cultures, native cultures around the world, you'll never see that type of expression because these people are nature worshipers. And they understand that that nature is really unnatural. And I feel like P. Diddy being in a good space financially, being around people who can pull strings, you know what I'm saying? He in the higher ups, but there's people above him as well. But I believe a lot of that stuff he learned from the people that was above him, family. I believe P. Diddy learned that from a lot of the people that was above him. The Moiti behaviors from Rome and from Greece. That's the type of games they play in the industry. You feel me? They make you money hungry. They set the standard for everybody must have this to survive. Everybody must have this to thrive, to live, right? And they got people around the world doing damn near anything for it. You feel me? And it's like I talk about with the teaching, you know. I feel like when it's too much money involved, it just become corrupt, family. But like I said, to my knowledge, P. Diddy is supposed to have surveillance of the parties, the freak-offs. People were required to sign legal document, making sure that they have given consent to enter this party where adults are doing all type of crazy circus acts, but that's their business if that's what they chose to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not blaming nobody. I'm not judging nobody. If that's what the man do, that's his business. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But what I'm telling you, as far as justice is concerned, it is not right to railroad that man after all these years, right? Especially when we got Trump dealing with the situation with 30-something felonies. He's still the president, family. The man's still the president. Right now, y'all talking about P. Diddy. So when it comes to justice, it's just very hard to get with their family. Okay, we're going to go by the book. That means anybody that's committing certain type of acts that's out of line, right, that's forcing people to do things against their will, they should be brought to justice. Donald Trump said grab women by the vagina, by the pussy. That's what he said. He said grab them by the pussy. Public. Right? And he's the president of this country. And y'all up here talking about some P. Diddy ready to crucify another black man. And so I'm not even going to speak on this too long, but I just wanted to touch on it and you know, put my little 2 cents in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't condemn the brother like that, because if we're going to play that game, then you got to bring everybody to justice. And like I said, Cassie, she's a prostitute. She sells her body for money, for financial gain. Yeah, I'm a man, and I don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? I can't understand how women, they do that. They choose to do that. You feel me? Why you don't go out and get a job? Why you don't go out and get educated so you can get better pay, better salary? You ain't got to lower your standards or lower your values for somebody else so they can tell you what to do. That's your choice. And I feel like Cassie made a choice, especially being with P. Diddy for that long. Especially for being with a man this long. It ain't like, you know what I'm saying, you could have been made a move. You didn't want to. You was in a good space where you was making money, you was profiting, you was benefiting. Right? And that was your choice to deal with P. Diddy. Now you got 30, 40, 50 million dollars. Okay, so you have compensation for some of the mental and emotional abuse that you have endured, but at the same time, it was not 100% forced upon you. A lot of these things were agreed. They have documentation of Cassie calling the sex workers, right? Setting the whole thing up. Setting the whole thing up, family. It's record of it. Right? Now you done been with the man all these years. It's record of you setting the freak-offs up with P. Diddy. And it just seems consensual to me. And so I'm not with the campaign since Donald Trump came into office of crucifying the celebrity black man or our leaders. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, all of these people were criminals, slave owners, right? They hurt people, they abused people, they made people work for free for nothing, and they got nothing but pork chop, not even pork chop, chitlins. That's why black people eat chitlins in the South. That's a slave meal. After the white man ate the ham, ate the pork chop, ate the more, you know, the more lean meat, he gave the slaves hog ass, pig butt, and niggas ate it. All right? And so I ain't trying to hear some of this stuff y'all going around putting all this tension. Oh, he need to do this, do that. The worst person in the world. Well, crucify these other people. They should be brought to justice. If we want to do that to P-Diddy, bring these other people to justice. These popes, you feel me, that touching kids, molesting children for years. It was an article that was found that was talking about skeletons found under the Vatican. Skeletons of children. All right? Now we already know, you know, this is not this is no new thing in this crazy world where we barely even see justice. So people are taking this thing personal because they hate men, right? For whatever reason. And they feel like all men are the same, but they're not. Right? I'm the one that used to write love letters in high school. Right? I look at myself as a, you know, guy with swag, pretty attractive guy, you feel me? And women have always been checking for me. But I'm just saying, especially when I step out in that world, but that situation, family, like, I'm just trying to make it make sense. Like I said, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long, but y'all just leave y'all opinions in the comments, and I'll make sure that I reply to your comment. But I just wanted to get my little 2 cents out on that. You feel me? Yeah, you gotta make it make sense, family. What is done on the right must be done on the left. No matter what your status is in the world, in the society, it doesn't make you exempt. Donald Trump was not arrested when he was arrested, but there was no handcuffs. That's another thing. They're making it to where you have a certain status, and then you exempt from law, you exempt from order. And so to me, that's weird. Even on the job, you got supervisors. I seen them breaking the rules. I seen them. You say something to another supervisor about another supervisor, right? And they already in cahoots. They ready to get you out the door. They like, oh, they ain't playing ball. They ain't listening to the rule. No, you told me these are the rules. I'm going by the rules. I seen someone break the rules. I'm reporting what's going on, and the job did nothing. And so, like I said, it's not about who's right. It's about what's right, family. It's not about who's right. It's about what's right. It don't matter what your status is in life, in the world. Everybody must be held accountable, right, by the same standard, by the same system of justice and law. And so, no, I do not support men domestically abusing women. Walk away. That's what I did, family. When the woman became aggressive for whatever reason she got going on in her mind, she dealing with all these men, and you thinking that she's a traditional woman, and this is a modern woman that doesn't have the values of traditional women. So it's not a wife, right? And people that choosing their lifestyle, that choosing these, the results that they're getting. And so, like I said, at the end of the day, I can't crucify my brother. I can't wait to see what the results are, what the outcome is. And I feel like him recording and him having the consent and all that in some way may, help him with his defense team and all of that. But I don't think that the brother should lose his life. You know what I'm saying? Because of that. Because, like I said, so far, there's a lot of people that haven't been brought to justice. When I was with my BN, I told you she worked at a store where they was talking about Cold Cosby, right? At the time I think it was like for theft or something like that. They was using Cold Cosby. But then they weren't talking about the Weinstein thing. You feel me? And he's a sex trafficker. He forces people into situations, sexually abuses them, right? And there a lot of people that getting away with this stuff, family. People got people in their family that's doing it, right? You related to them, you look up to them in a certain way, you feel like it's no way they could have done that, right? But come to find out, they might have did, family. People dealing with all type of demons out here, man. I'm just saying, I'm speaking, you know, for justice, for fairness, and for balance. What's done on the left got to be done on the right. If you're not doing that, that's imbalance. You know the basic understanding of what a scale is. With me being the Libra, you feel me? That's the only thing I can understand is fair. If it ain't fair, I can't understand that, family. So the woman has been paid, compensated, and they want to, you know, they want to do further, you know, prosecution. So we'll see how it goes. But I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. Love and light to the family. Peace, salute. We out. Catch y'all on the next. Love and light.